I've got a fun one planned for today. We're going to be reviewing some previously discussed presentations, techniques, and oh boy, fall is officially upon us, or at least upon me here down in Texas. We'll stay tuned and find out here on this episode of That Fishing Podcast.
This is Steve Rogers with Steve Rogers Outdoors, and you're listening to That Fishing Podcast. Sit back and enjoy.
Yo! Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Or if you're new, welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, That Fishing Noob, and oh boy, fall is officially upon us, or at least me. So here down in southeast Texas, fall is kind of here. So this past week we had a cold front come through, and then we're going to be jumping right back up into the mid 80s, maybe even low 90s. And the lows are still going to be hanging around the 70s-ish. So, yep, it's kind of fall. It felt like fall for just a little bit. But I know for a lot of you guys listening, a lot of you guys that are not here in Southeast Texas, it is almost winter for you. Talking about like it is highs in the 40s maybe, lows in the 30s-ish. So, yeah, that's kind of fun. Not really. I know fishing season is coming to a close for a lot of you guys. However, hunting season is open, so that's cool. I was talking to a couple of my hunting friends, and yeah, it'd be really nice to go through and fill a freezer. So between deer, duck, and I don't know, I'm not a hunter. I want to be, but it's kind of expensive having to go and I don't know. I hear my friends maintaining deer leases and stuff, and it's like, you should go hunt with them, but can't really just self-invite myself, right? It's like, hey guys, take me out hunting. It would be really cool. I mean, I guess I could, but it's really not my mojo. But with that, a lot of the lakes over by me are turning over. Like one of the most popular lakes that's closest to me recently had a big old fish kill. So lots of dead fish, like good size, 3, 4, 5 pounders, kind of just floating belly up at the bank. So not fun to see that, but hopefully the fish population is still good, still going strong, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back. And I don't know about you guys, but fall/winter is my favorite times to go fishing. I feel like the most consistently big fish I've caught during winter, and that's when everything is, fishing really slow, fish are lethargic, but I feel like during winter time has been where I've gotten my biggest fish. Except for my PB. I think my PB was during summer, but I feel like I catch more consistently big fish during winter, and like solid 3, 4s, maybe 2.5s, like upper 2s. That's probably my average during winter time. I'm not pulling out, 30 fish a day. I really haven't had a fishing day like that, but still, the fish that I'm catching are really good quality. So it's fun. So you guys let me know. Comment down below. What is your favorite time to fish? You like summer? You like spring? Fall? Winter? Speaking of spring fishing, I have yet to go capitalize on a spawning bite or bedfish bite. I've been meaning to do that just to experience it and kind of see those guys go and be aggressive around those beds and really going through and picking up those giant female bass. But I've missed the window every single year, so maybe this coming year will be the year. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. I've got just a quick, easy episode today. Things are crazy at work. I'm still, that's going to be the story of the next, 5 episodes. I'm still unpacking stuff, still sorting stuff in the new house. So those of you that have recently moved or moved within the last year, I feel your pain. Going through making a new house home and then also juggling a chaotic job and little kids, yeah, it's a bit of a doozy. But it's good, and God is still good. But to touch over some previously discussed topics. Now, I had debated going through and re-recording them and re-uploading them, but I'm going to kind of cover some of those little nuances that I wanted to really hit home now. The main presentations techniques are going to be a Texas rig, which is my number one favorite technique, and frog fishing. Now, this can kind of boil over into topwater fishing as well, so fishing with like a buzzbait or fishing with not something with treble hooks. So starting with the Texas rig, if you're not familiar with it, or if you're not throwing a Texas rig out, guys, you should be throwing a Texas rig out. Matter of fact, here's a recent testimony for the Texas rig. Chase, Mr. Southwest Indiana Outdoors, recently caught his PB on a Texas rig. Now, I don't know why it works, but it does, and it's good to have that multi-column of water kind of strategy whenever you go out. Have something that's on top, have something that's kind of suspended midline, and then have something on bottom. And Texas rig goes through and covers that bottom category really, really well. And it doesn't get much more traditional or solid or just strategically sound than throwing on a Senko on a Texas rig. Now, you can throw a wide variety, a plethora of things on a Texas rig. You can throw out a paddle tail. If you really want to, you can throw on a fluke. You can throw on craws. You can throw on grubs. You can throw on other little, like, dancing worms. Just a wide variety of different things on a Texas rig. And you can fish it differently as well. But the way I'm going to be discussing fishing today is going to be weighted and primarily on the bottom. So with the Texas rig, you make a cast out. Accuracy is key with this. This is not a you're going to be covering a ton of water kind of technique. This is a make an accurate cast to somewhere where you think there should be a fish, and you can work probably a good 5 feet from where you've casted. Now, typically the spots that I've fished, depending on where it is, I'll work 5 feet, but over that 5 feet, I might be covering 10 feet of water. So kind of go and experiment, see what works best, see what the fish are communicating back to you, see what they're giving feedback for, and proceed. So bullet weight wise, I don't fish with a really heavy bullet weight, and I don't really fish in really deep water either. So right now, the heaviest bullet weight that I have is a 1/4 ounce. And I can't say recently, but I made the switch to tungsten from just lead bullet weights, and yes, they're more expensive. You can typically go find a sale somewhere, swing by your local Walmart. Sometimes they but sometimes they have tungsten marked down at a crazy cost. And if not, there are some good options on Amazon that are cheaper, because I know how it feels to go through and you can get a bunch of lead weights for like $7-8. And then you can get like 8 tungsten weights for more than that. So I know, and I'm prone to breaking off. I don't know about you, but I break off pretty frequently, whether I like it or not. And part of that is just, it's the danger of fishing on the bottom, that risk reward. So the heaviest I fish with is a 1/4 ounce, but most likely than not, I have a 3/16 ounce tungsten weight just kind of chilling there, and that is my kind of go-to for whenever I'm fishing more shallow bodies of water. Now, if I know that I'm going to be heading out to a local lake and it has some good depth, or if I want my presentation to fall faster to the bottom, then I'll go throw out the 3/16 and I'll throw on a 1/4 ounce. So I've got bullet weight. Tungsten is the way to go. It is way more sensitive. It is more compact. You have more condensed mass in that bullet weight compared to lead. So smaller profile, and it is crazy, crazy, crazy sensitive. So do that. You probably won't regret it. So a lot of the times, if I'm fishing in more than 8 feet of water, what I'll go, so this is throwing out a bait caster. It can work with a spinning too. It's just a different kind of technique. So with the casting rod, I'll go through, make a cast, and if I want it to drop straight down, I will peel off extra line so that way my little presentation could sink straight down rather than having a pendulum effect back to me. Now, if you're fishing with a spinning rod, you just leave your bail open for a little bit longer and go through, feed line out, and then close your bail. Now, a lot of the times, what I've found is fish will follow whatever that is to the bottom, and then it's crazy. So if you don't have crystal clear waters, I don't. My waters are super muddy. But these presentations are actually doing a lot of moving and shimmying and jiggling down at the bottom of the water column. So don't think that you have to be giving it input to go through and trigger a bite. Sometimes those fish will just trail it down, and when it hits the bottom, they'll wait and they'll look at it, and then as the water is shifting, or as the whatever soft plastic you're using settles, they'll go through and pick it up. And sometimes they want like little micro pops, little micro twitches. But the first thing when you make an accurate cast, be patient. Just let it sit, let it fall, and just wait. You're waiting for feedback. You're waiting for some kind of sensation of like, all right, did something just hit it? Did something just pick it up in its mouth? And it's one of those like, it's similar to feeling as, I don't know if you've dragged a tungsten weight or anything on the bottom across rocks, but you feel like that sudden doop. So sometimes bites feel like that, but you know that you're not dragging across a log or timber or rock if you're literally just sitting there and dead sticking it while you're just your presentation's on the water, on the bottom of the water column. So bites like that are really fun, and if they don't hit that, then you can go through and figure out what the fish do want to hit. So maybe they want to hit micro pops, or maybe a tiny little drag, or maybe a big pop, and then same thing, like big pop, let it sit for 1, 2, 3, or 2 big pops, let it sit 1, 2, 3. Now Texas rig is a patient man's game, but for some reason I really enjoy throwing it. And if you know me, I don't like sitting and doing nothing. I like to have something moving in my hands. I don't want to just sit there and feel like I'm just dead sticking and not doing anything. For some reason though, like a Texas rig for me works really well. And I think it's partly also due to my rod. My rod is crazy sensitive, so I feel like I'm still doing something even if I'm not actively retrieving. Like I'm still feeling the bottom, I'm feeling composition. So yeah, it's pretty solid. But be patient. And now once you get a bite, here's the thing. So my soft plastics, I bury the hook pretty good because I like my Texas rig to be weedless. I throw it in some really thick stuff, thick vegetation. I throw it around rocks. I don't want an exposed hook point. So I dig my hook point into my soft plastic a decent amount. So with that, if you do that, you're fishing a weedless Texas rig. When you get a bite, you gotta pause. So you feel that tap, you feel that big dook. So just wait just a sec. And in that waiting, reel down on your slack if you have a little bit of slack in your line. And then with authority, set into them. And then boom, fight's on. There you go. A lot of the times too when I'm fishing a Texas rig, I do have a little bit of slack in my line. I do not have a taut line. So I'll go through, I'll pop, or just a little micro twitch to a twitch, and then I'm just paused and waiting. So I do not have a taut line when I'm fishing my Texas rig. And for line, if you want to know about line too, kind of just, I guess this is a big coverall for Texas rig, just short though. I fish with fluorocarbon, and I don't think that there's a better line than XII Sniper for bottom contact presentations. XII Sniper, and I think I have 14 pound test on my Texas rig right now. I don't really try to go heavier than that, but yeah, XII Sniper is the way to go. If you don't have a Texas rig in your hand, get it in your hand, go have fun throwing it out and learn it. Just force yourself to go learn it. Force yourself to fish with it. I guarantee you'll really enjoy it. The second thing is frog fishing. So covering both frog and buzzbait fishing. So I'm not really going to go talk about where to cast and all that. The biggest thing is listening to the feedback from the fish. So with a buzzbait, a little tip that I always try to do is I try to start my buzzbait up immediately when it hits the water. I try not to let it sink down and then have it pull back up and then start that chop. I try to start my buzzbait immediately, start burning it back. And now that's the thing, you can go through and burn it back. You can go through and have it just above the surface of the water. You can do a mix of it. You can go through and kind of pump it and then let it sit for just a sec and pump it and burn it. Just go through, try different types of retrieves and see what these fish are responding to. One thing that might be really beneficial though, and I've had this happen I actually happened in my last video. I was just finished with a cast while I was burning it back, and then I was lifting my buzzbait out of the water, and a fish was trailing it, followed it, and tried to hit it. So the tip is, before you go through and get it out of the water, let your buzzbait die, let it sink, let it sit, right before you go through and pull it out of the water. Because if you have a fish that's trailing it, following it, then it's probably going to be able to go through and hit it that much better than if you were going through, burning it back, already thinking about your next cast, you pull it out of the water, and then all of a sudden, big old blow up right next to the boat, or right next to the bank, wherever you're fishing. Now, real quick with frogging, so I typically walk my frogs, and that's how I fish my frogs. I'll go through and throw them into some thick stuff. I'll throw them really shallow, and then I'll just let them sit. So after making a cast, I normally wait maybe 5 to 8 seconds for those ripples to kind of clear out, unless what I call it is a sneaky approach. If I throw my frog onto the bank, then there's no need to wait because there's no ripples. I'll just slide my frog nonchalantly into the water and kind of just start working that side to side, or that real subtle kind of like gliding action, and see. A lot of it is just figuring out what the fish are responding to. So if the fish are really, really, really shallow and they're responding to a really subtle glide of your frog, then cool, throw that. If not, then for some reason they really like it whenever a frog is walking. Especially if sometimes when I'm doing that, I'll go through and I'll make it chug water as I'm walking it side to side too. So it's more of like an aggressive pop to get it to walk side to side to side, and it's chugging water too. So just, experiment, try, see what they're doing, seeing what they're responding to. So with frog fishing and buzzbait fishing, same thing with a Texas rig. When you get a blow up, when you get a bite, wait a second, and in that waiting, reel down on your slack before you set into them. Because you could be going through and just pulling your frog, pulling your buzzbait, pulling your Texas rig out of the fish's mouth before it's deep enough to go through and get good hook penetration in top of the mouth and the corner of the mouth. Make sure when you're fishing either of those techniques, topwater frog, topwater buzzbait, or Texas rig, when you get a bite, wait for a sec before you set into the fish. And I know I've got to be disciplined too, because, fishing isn't always glorious. It's not always a 35, 40, 50 fish day. Some days it's, all right, I got a bite 3 hours ago. So when I get a bite again, I'm quick to pull trigger. So, I'm preaching to myself as much as I am to you. You gotta wait. Just wait. Wait. Drill into your brain. And you'll catch more fish. It'll be good. Last thing with topwater frog, I personally use 50-pound braid. I don't have crazy vegetation where I'm at. There's some grass, but it's not really, really thick. And there's some hydrilla, but again, it's not really thick. So 50-pound for me has been good. I used to fish for 30-pound braid, but figure 50 is a little bump up. And if I do get into some thicker vegetation, it'll cut through it a little bit better. It's a little bit more stout. So yeah, short and sweet episode today, going through and just, I really wanted to hit home on waiting and in the pause, reel down, set into the fish with authority, and then fights on. Get them to the boat, get them to the bank, bring them up, and bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. But thank you for joining me on this one. I appreciate it. Life is chaotic. I don't remember if I covered all the topics that I wanted to in this episode, but I've been committed to putting out an episode on the first Monday of every month. So we're trying to stick to that. And last couple things, I have some affiliates that I'll link down below in the description. If you are planning on treating yourself or treating somebody else, especially for this upcoming Christmas season, and it's fishing related, so anything that you can get from Eco Fishing Shop or Kistler line, rod, reels, apparel, if you want to treat yourself or somebody else, then please consider using my affiliate links. No extra cost to you, but I do make a small commission off of your purchase. I also have a YouTube channel called That Fishing Noob. So if you are listening here and you also watch YouTube, swing over to my channel, give it a look, watch my latest video, and maybe subscribe. Consider subscribing. That'd be cool. Make sure to rate the show, leave a comment down below. Let me know, what you prefer. Do you prefer to fish a buzzbait or a frog? Do you like fishing a Texas rig? And if so, what's your favorite presentation? What's your favorite soft plastic to use on it? That'll be it for this one. Guys, I hope that you're still able to go fishing even though it's getting cold. And if you are fishing, I hope that you're able to catch a big one. But I'll catch you on the next one. Tight lines. God bless.